Hey guys, I'm back. Spent the better part of the evening working on figuring out the thumb strap release mechanism. I wanted multi-tiers again to protect the surface of what's being stowed inside of the holster. So there's going to be a top button here and a bottom button here, and then this will just lay across the rear thumb grip, or like the dovetail of what's being stored inside the holster. I'm gonna stitch these together so that when I mount it onto the strapping of the pistol, it's still totally separate from the loop that makes the belt loop. And then I've already pre-punched my holes here for, let me see if I can line them up. I've already pre-punched my holes, and I have chosen my buttons. I'll be using these really nice 4-piece, they look like gunmetal gray. They've got this really nice locking mechanism on the inside. They're non-directional, so you can really, you can unsnap it from any direction, but it kind of takes a little bit of upward pressure to do it, so I'm not going to have issues with it coming unsnapped. And then again, the intention is to stitch all of this to the body of the holster. Oh, I had it sideways on the underside. So these buttons will move just slightly loose, but the belt will be able to fit between all of that there. And then this strap, once affixed to the holster, will have its ability to connect in, and I'll be using the same style button system. Right, so this will be under here connected to the button or the snap. Be able to push it out and away. This will stay on the holster, this will swing free, and the pistol will just come straight out the front. I've done quite a bit of work and finish on all of these parts. I spent a lot of time working on it last night. I figure if I'm going to yap the whole time I'm making a video, I'm not going to show you all of the extra time and effort that goes into some of the finer details. I'll show you a time or two, but I'm not going to show you the whole process unless I do amass more followers, and that's something that everybody wants more of. Otherwise, I'll show you just enough. Maybe I'll do a tutorial video one day. I don't think I'm good enough to be a teacher. I'm pretty novice myself. One thing I like to do is anytime there's just a burr or a hair standing up anywhere at all, I like to just try to knock it down. Because in the end, when you've gone through and you've burnished your edges and you've polished them real smooth and flat, they start looking different, right? They'll get a nice rounded appearance, and then you can seal them up pretty good. It's nice. It's a real effective way to keep your leather protected as well. I've noticed that, leather's going to suck up moisture, but I've noticed that when you've got more tails, the end grain tends to suck up a lot more moisture quicker. So if you're hot and sweaty and you're handling it and you're touching all over it, you can still, wick some of that moisture into the leather. But that's a part of the reason you protect your leather as well. You don't just use raw leather for a finished product, unless that's what you're searching for, and then you can get a weathered appeal from it. But you also got to worry about stuff like leather rot. If leather stays too wet or is in bad conditions for too long, it will rot. It's just animal flesh. Yeah, so just do your best. The better you do here, the easier the rest of this is. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm barely putting pressure. This is 2000 grit sandpaper, dang near automotive quality. If you use a lower grit sandpaper, you can hog off a little bit more material a little bit more quickly. but you also run the risk of tear out or blowout or whatever you want to call it. And those bigger grits will actually grab onto those grains that I keep talking about, and it'll pull them up. And another risk you run is any sandpaper at all can scratch the surface of this and make it look less polishy. This will be covered. I don't know if you can see the sheen difference there, but immediately this kind of loses some of its, maybe its luster. And that's not overly important in the long run because it's a holster and it's gonna hold things. But if you want long-term good look, you gotta be aware of the way this is finished. And if you're hitting it with sandpaper in general, especially lower grit sandpaper where the rocks or the chunks are a lot bigger, you're gonna be gouging into it. And gouges are different than just scrapes, right? Because a gouge splits straight into the softer leather that sucks that water up better. Once this is protected, it'll kind of repel a little bit of water. Anyway, this is probably ready to have the holes punched. I'll show you those in a little bit. I'll get that on video. I'll punch the holes. And I'm not going to stitch them until I've colored everything, and I'll get to that as well. But still working on the fit and finish. We've got another video to upload as well. This video is going to drop before the other video because the other video is like 20 minutes long. It's just me working. So if you want to see a little bit more of what I was just doing, polishing, scraping, scratching, I'll show you some of that.